and welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this, my friends, is the Thunder Show, aka the Internet's most passionate wine program, and today we have a very interesting episode, in my opinion. We are comparing the same producer's wine from the same vintage, but the only difference is that one of the cuvées is known as the Vielles Vignes, the old vines. Mr. Mott, zoomy zoom. Vielles Vignes. This is the old vines version of this wine. So the producer we have in front of us is the Chinon. One is the 06 regular, one is the 06 Vielles Vignes. Now what I find fascinating about this is one little thing. The price difference is quite minor. 16 bones for the regular cuvée, 20 for the Vielles Vignes. Normally when we see this scenario in the wine world where there's an old vines version of the regular cuvée, you see more of like a almost double 60-70% swing. Here we're seeing a very slight swing, almost about 25%, so really minor. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But the norm is you're going to see a bigger kind of spread. Now Chinon is in the Loire Valley. It's on the left bank of the Loire Valley River. It is a very interesting place. The Loire Valley is probably most known for Sancerre and maybe Vouvray, but Chinon has been catching a lot of thunder lately. It's made from the Cabernet Franc grape, one that I'm very fond of, and Chinons have done fairly well on the Thunder Show through the years, Mott. As a matter of fact, Mott, why don't you search Chinon and link it up? Prior episodes where we've had some Chinon, if you don't mind. Appreciate it. Here I brought two glasses that I really want to go like head-to-head. You know, I really want to go head-to-head with these wines and see what's the difference. You know, a lot of times you hear wine people, you know, especially winemakers, owners of wineries, talk about how old their vines are. More mature, getting more from the ground, more developed, more serious. Old vines, wow, the old gnarly Zin vines, or Grenache, that are just thick barks and trunks, and very fascinating stuff. But what is really the impact on the wine? Why are you and I paying $4 more a bottle in this scenario? So we're going to put this head-to-head and see what really gets down to the nitty-gritty. A lot of times we do head-to-heads. They're different wineries from different states, and they really want to bash each other. But yet these are brothers. Older brother, little brother. Gary, AJ. Clearly we already know that this is going to win today. That being said, sorry bro, that being said, it'll be very fascinating to me to see what the difference is. Now, I can tell you right off the bat, on color, there is virtually no difference. Mott, maybe we'll go high with it. I don't know, how's the high doing? Anything good? No bad? Okay, let's go low. Let's go low. A little bit better. Clearly, little to no difference on the color. I would say maybe, believe it or not, which is kind of ironic, the Vielles Vignes might be a little bit lighter. Big fan of the Cabernet Franc Chinon wines. They're normally very vegetal. If you're a V8 drinker instead of a soda drinker, this could be a play for you. I also find them to be values at times. This is a very solid producer, Herlot. I've had a small experience with them. Been pretty happy with what I've had. Maybe 03 vintage, 04. And the prices are very fair, $16 to $20 with the euro still pretty much not even Steven yet. And, you know, you think about all that, pretty nice values. Let's give these two wines a sniffy sniff and see what really happens here. Don't you guys think? The regular Chinon, sniffy sniff. Earthy, clearly a, you know, I wouldn't say manure, but I would definitely say fertilized action kind of smell coming through. I get a little bit of a blackberry currant, kind of blackberry meets currant, and they join forces, maybe marry, have kids. Blackberry currant is a new fruit. That kind of scenario in this nose. Little bit of like a broccoli component. Let's see what's going on the Vielles Vignes. Now these vines are about 30, 40, 50 years old in comparison to 5 to 10 over here. FYI. This smells totally different. This smells extreme, almost has a slight mint component on the nose, but really driven home is the fertilized action that I get over here. I get a little bit more intense over here. I also get a little more chocolate over here. Yeah, the Vielles Vignes is much stronger aromatically. So that is right off the bat the first difference. It's got a lot more going on in the nose. It's much more interesting. Yeah, this is much more aromatically challenged, a little tight. This opens up quite a bit. Let's taste them side by side now. Starting with the regular Cuvée Chinon. AJ? This is very good. Very smooth. Great mid-palate. Gorgeous, firm tannins on the back end. Explodes with like raw veggies, meat, cherry juice. So it's almost like take some broccoli and celery and take real fresh squeezed cherry juice and put it all over it and then bite it and then maybe bite a dark black plum. That's what this tastes like, my friends. And you know what? I kind of like it. Very smooth, pretty complex, very fair. This is really good. I get a great broccoli flavor on the back end, which I like quite a bit. Little Brussels sprouts. You like Brussels sprouts? I love them. This is a vegetal play, yet there's enough fruit here, blackberry and cherries, that I think those people that are kind of like, the Cabernet Franc thing, I don't know. I think this can combine and bring you in. I like this. This is a very good effort, and I'm awfully scared for the Vielles Vignes right now because this rolls around a 90-point effort. This is very good. Very good. Let's see what's going on over here. Hello? Maybe we should zoom in. So the first one we had, what you think about, was the Cuvée Traditionnel. Was the Herlot Chinon, the regular Cuvée. And now we're moving on to the Vielles Vignes. It's got gold lettering. It's a little more blingy, you know. 20 bones, still very fair pricing for Chinon in general. Let's see what's going on here. This is much more intense and much, much more earthy, raw, vegetal. Does not have the subtle fruit that's over here. This is much more in your face, big firm tannins, will probably last 3 to 5 years longer than this wine. It's probably a 5 to 7 year window. It's probably in the 10 to 12 range window. I really like the brightness of the veggie components of this wine, but again, this is more of an acquired taste. Had this been a purchasing situation for Wine Library, this would probably be the wine that I would buy. This is more of a transition. Probably buy 5 or 10 cases of this and a case of this, right? This I would show to my hardcore, yo, what's up? You like the Cab Franc? I like the Cab Franc customers, and I'd show them this and be like, oh, this is the raw stuff. You're going to love this. This would be more like, you know, somebody coming in and saying, you know, Gary, I've seen you talk about Cabernet Franc, but I'm more of a Cab fan, Shiraz. All right, let's give you this. This is a little bit of a transition to that world of vegetables. Oh, you like the strawberries? Okay, well, maybe a cucumber, maybe more so than a Brussels sprout. You know what I mean? So this is definitely much more intense, big firm tannins, a bigger wine. I like it. My palate, I'm kind of in, and I'm not even a lurker. This, to me, is a big play for a straight-up, hardcore Cabernet Franc lover. This, to me, is more of a play of somebody looking to transition and get involved. This, to me, is a more popular style for the masses. This, to me, is a little wine nerdied up, or people that are really just in tune with their palate and realize they'll eat celery and cabbage and carrot tops, and not the actor or whatever he is, but like the green stuff on top. That stuff before they'll eat a fruit. No plums, no cherries that are so prominent and really well played in this. This is just in your face, in your face, intense, vegetal, earthy, manure kind of flavors. Let me give it one more shot. These are both really good wines. First and foremost, big ups to Herlot. Like I said in the prior show when we did Lambrusco, I get worried about shows where you only got 1 or 2 wines, but especially a place that I really love like Chinon. So understand, I'll probably score these a little higher because it's a flavor profile I like. I'm going to score the regular Cuvée a 90 plus. I think it's extremely good, and I like it quite a bit. I'm going to score the Vielles Vignes a 90. And I know I led you all to believe kind of like where I'm going, but when I just tasted them side by side, I've got to be honest with you. As much as I gravitate towards this style, there's something about the creamy fruit here that's a little bit smoother, and I do believe that if we decanted these wines for 3 or 4 hours, this would hold on stronger and this would be a little flabbier. Or if we waited 5 or 6 years from now, this would probably win because it would hold up better. That being said, it's not 5 or 6 years from now. We don't even know what we're going to be doing 5 or 6 years from now. Come on, we'll be on episode like 1700. Big upset, especially for my palate. I'm going with the little bro. Maybe it's because I love AJ so much, by the way. But great wines, great value plays. If you're looking to mix it up, go to your local store or restaurant, ask for the Herlot Chinon. This is a very spectacular showing on both parts, and I think very well priced. Question of the day. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, I don't feel like I've really summed up really where I was going with the show. I kind of went into the wines. We're really talking more about what's the difference between the Vielles Vignes. You know, here's the difference, guys. In life, right? You probably know somebody who's 67 years old who's not as wise and not as life smart as somebody that you know that's 18. It's a genetics thing, right, Ma? I mean, there's some people at 65 right now that are acting like they're 13 years old. There's some grandmas who still want to be in high school and like whisper in your ear and send you one of those things where you go do 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 do, or a note in a, you know. Do you remember that thing, Ma? I mean, let's be honest. Just because you're older doesn't mean you're wiser or you're smarter. Now you learn a heck of a lot. I even know that I was a punk kid, thought I knew all this stuff about business at 21. I know a lot more now. I get it. That being said, there is a boatload of people that I know that are over 60 years old that are basically playing around like they're 6-year-old kids. So, that being said, just because you're older vines and you've been around longer doesn't necessarily mean that that has been the right play and made you a better wine. It makes you a different wine, but not necessarily a better wine. And so, if nothing else, if the price difference is huge, and especially if you have the opportunity to taste them both side by side, tasting Vielles Vignes, and you can get them into Zinfandels, and you see them in the Rhone quite a bit. You see this scenario in other places. If you get to taste the Vielles Vignes, the old vines, next to the regular cuvee, the regular, I'd highly recommend it. It could be a shocking learning experience. To me, this one was. Kind of surprised. Question of the day. What is your favorite Vielles Vignes, old vines wine you've ever had? I expect a lot of Zinfandel answers. Sagacia. Gotcha, man. You, with a little, we need the mock cam because that was awesome. You, with a little bit of me, we are changing the wine world.